London is probably one of the best cities in the world to visit, but it is also really expensive. So in this video, we're going to look at, I think, 5 things that you can do in London for free. And we're starting here in Green Park because number 1 is visit the parks. They're all free and they are pretty darn amazing. As you leave Green Park, you come up to the Mall, and at the top of the Mall you have the Victoria Monument with Buckingham Palace behind it. Now this is a great place to visit, spend 10-15 minutes. It is really, really impressive. My camera's really not doing it any justice. It's a lot bigger than it looks. And when the fountains are going, which they're not currently, it's a really impressive place to be. But behind Victoria Monument obviously is Buckingham Palace, but you're also afforded fantastic views down the Mall. Now, if you time it right, obviously you'll get to see the changing of the guards. Unfortunately, I didn't do that today, but I have done that in the past, and I do have a short somewhere on my channel which shows that video. So this takes us back to our number 1 place to visit. Obviously, we've had parks and then the palace, but St James's Park next to Buckingham Palace is well worth a visit if you're in the area. Now, at the end of St James's Park, we have this area here, which has been set up for TV. So they just had a parade. Well, not just, but in the last week. This is Horse Guards. And just behind Horse Guards, you can see Millennium Wheel. And to the right of Horse Guards, which we'll visit in a minute, is a lovely place to have a garden party. Now, after the whole Horse Guards, we're going to get these next 3 knocked out in really quick succession because everything is pretty close from here. First, we're going to head about 100 meters down and visit Downing Street. There was a bit of a to-do at the Downing Street gates, a bit of a protest, HSBC protesters, that's what they're for. So I decided not to film there. Not because I wasn't allowed, but because I didn't want to get wrapped up in anything. Avoid these things, they all smell. So if you want your picture taken by a red phone box, do it outside, not in. Now this is one of the most photographed red telephone boxes in London. As you can see, there's a bit of a queue, which is odd to me. There's red telephone boxes there everywhere. Now, Parliament Square is definitely a must visit. Obviously, this is the home of government. The whole of Whitehall is pretty much the area we've been looking at. But this is where you'll find Big Ben, Houses of Parliament. And then just to the right behind these trees is Westminster Abbey. And we will go there in a second. Now, I've lost count. I don't know what number I'm on, but I do know I'm at Westminster Abbey, which I think you have to pay to get into, much like St Paul's, but you can visit and walk around the outside as much as you want for free. Just don't get in the tour guide photos. Now, again, I've completely lost count. So, once you've done Westminster and Big Ben, which is just behind me, I recommend walking down the Victoria Embankment. I'm going down the north side because the next thing I'm going to visit is our last. But the south side is probably the best views because you get to see Westminster. However, the views from this side aren't particularly poor. So I would recommend walking down Thames, just taking in some of the sights and enjoy the sun. First time in July has been stunning. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know I've only explored a very small part of London. If you'd like to see more, subscribe. I'll do another walking tour of London. Maybe visit a larger area. It's actually getting warm. First time in July so far we've had this much sun, I think. Start to sweat. really need to do more of these just to keep fit. Now, before you get to Embankment, so the station and the little bridge, it's worth taking a walk up Horse Guards Abbey. There's not a huge amount here to see other than the buildings, and much like the rest of Whitehall and the surrounding area, they're just massive, imposing, really well worth the walk down. It's a bit of history that most people don't look at in London, but I find it fascinating. I love this area. Now we double back on ourselves somewhat. Westminster's behind us, we've just gone past Horse Guards again, but we're aiming now towards the next couple of things. I'm going to group into one. About 150 metres up past Horse Guards is Trafalgar Square. So behind Trafalgar Square is the National Gallery. Well worth a visit if you've got the time, spend a couple of hours in there. The Trafalgar Square itself is currently closed for either putting up or putting away for some sort of event. Now, you used to be able to climb. You can see those lines. You used to be able to climb up on those. But quite a few years ago, they stopped people from doing it. I'm not sure if it's because they were damaging them or health and safety, but I remember being a kid on top of one of those lines.
Like I paid for a six to it. Wearing one color. I have to.
As you could probably tell, my microphone was dying progressively through the trip, so we're now in voiceover mode instead. Rather than heading from Trafalgar Square to Leicester Square, which is what most people do, we've headed to Cecil Court, which is a lot more charming and has a lot more history behind it. And then we head towards somewhere called Goodwin's Court, which is where people think J.K. Rowling based Diagon Alley on. No, I'm not necessarily convinced of that, and she has herself said this isn't what Diagon Alley is based on. As you see, to me it looks more like Nocturne Alley. From here we take the 2-minute walk up to Covent Garden to see number 6, which isn't Covent Garden itself because it is quite costly, but well worth a visit if you're hungry or just fancy shopping. It is instead the Transport Museum. So most people when they visit London, they know to visit Natural History Museum and the Science Museum, which are both over in Kensington, but Holborn has both the British Museum and the Transport Museum, which are both well worth a visit if you're in the area, as are all the museums in London. So again, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and next time we'll explore more of London.